Hi, I'm here with Susan Groner.
Hi.
Hi. So tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, it's called The Parenting Mentor, and what I do is help parents be happier and more relaxed by learning simple strategies to deal with the everyday stress and anxiety of parenting, which, we all have. We've all had it. We all have it all the time, little things.
Why did you decide to focus on this?
It kind of evolved into a business. First of all, I was a stressed and anxious mom myself, and then I learned to back off and look at things differently, and I look at my own kids now who are 17 and 20, and I say, what was I so stressed about? I watch how they evolve and become their own people, and they're so capable of handling so many things, and the way, they don't necessarily always think the way I do, but that's so okay.
Yeah.
I read something once that said that as mothers we're vessels for other human beings, and I thought, well, that's so interesting. But they're not mini-me's.
Right.
They're not going to do exactly what we want them to do and act and react in exactly the way we think they should. And when we can step back and know that, it really helps. But I like to teach strategies based on a method that I created called CLEAR. Mm-hmm. It stands for communication, love, empathy, awareness, rules, and respect. Mm-hmm. And those elements, when you kind of get used to thinking about them all, really, really help to reduce that stress that you're going to have. So you can, by doing that, you reduce conflict with your kids. You learn how to talk to them in ways where, they want to be heard and understood. You don't need to feel the pressure of fixing all the time.
Right.
The fixing thing is where we're only as happy as our least happy child. So if we fix it to make them happy, then we're happy. But I like to ask the question, how do you feel, wouldn't you like to know that your child's capable of handling being unhappy, frustrated, disappointed, sad, whatever those emotions are. And if we allow our kids to feel that way and know that they can get through it, then we can relax on so many things.
It's true.
We worry so much that, oh my gosh, my kid forgot her lunch. Now, the first thing you probably think of, and I certainly used to, I go downstairs and see my daughter's lunch on the counter, and I'm like, damn it. I told her 5 times to put her lunch in her backpack. You know? And
she's going to be hungry today.
I worry, oh my gosh, she's going to be hungry. I need to get this to school. I'm annoyed at her. I'm now rushing. I have a meeting I have to get to. It's throwing up everything, and it's all this negative cycle. Instead, we can look at that lunch or the homework or the musical instrument or the cleats, whatever it is that we see that our child forgot, and say, wow, I'm so glad that my child left this at home, because now they have the opportunity to learn some coping skills, develop coping mechanisms and problem-solving skills. And little by little, they start to figure these things out. They'll survive. And it really is an opportunity. If they forgot their lunch, they've got to now go to the office and borrow some money.
Right.
Or they have to eat the cafeteria food. Or they have to mooch from their friends. Or, God forbid, they're hungry. And that's okay too if they're hungry. They'll get through it. And then they'll remember their lunch the next day. And you already made the lunch and it's in the fridge for tomorrow. So you're really off the hook. And those little things, those little kind of paradigm shifts of looking at things in a positive way instead of that sort of negative, oh my God, what's going to happen to my poor child, takes the stress off of us. We become happier and more relaxed. It's not ruining part of our day.
Right.
And this can happen through all the different aspects of parenting issues that we have. It's all about really learning how to sit down and have a conversation with your child so they know that, you're serious about something, but also we want to know how they feel about it. I mean, I remember, I used to say to my kids, like, you need a coat. I'm hot, but it's cold out. Well, they were hot and I was cold. Like, doesn't mean that they're going to always, right?
Right.
So I really love doing this. I was doing it for friends and, people I would meet, they would tell me about their parenting issues, and then everyone started to say, you're really good at this, you should turn this into a business.
Do you have a psychology background or anything?
No,
like
I don't. I have a creative problem-solving background. I actually went to Wharton undergrad and have a business degree and did a lot of marketing and advertising, and I've just done a lot of different things, and they've all been under the creative problem-solving umbrella.
You must have learned so much on this journey. What's something you would say to the Susan, when your children were a lot younger? What's something you would say to her now?
Each little thing doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't. It's so easy to say that now when you're in the thick of it as a parent. If your kid's in 3rd grade and they're not doing well at something, and like you think it's the end of the world and it's going to ruin their whole life, and again, I think for a lot of people it goes back to, oh no, now they're going to get behind and they're not going to get into this school, and they're not going to get into that, and they're not going to get into good college, and they're not going to get a good job, they're not going to have a happy life. Whereas these little, again, it goes back to those little bits of adversity. I think that's probably what I would look at most, is that I would appreciate the bits of adversity instead of stressing about them.
Right. And when you boil it down, what are the kinds of things you're passionate about?
Aside from parenting?
Or in addition to, yeah.
Well, of course, I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about that. And I'm passionate about that mostly because I don't want parents to go through the stress and anxiety that I did. I want, so many people, like, oh my God, when my kids go to bed, that's like the happiest part of my day. Or when the vacation's over, now they're back in school. But I want people to look at parenting more as a joy and less as a job. And so that's where the passion comes from there. Otherwise, I love to travel. The more exotic and culturally rich places, the better. We've just now starting to travel without our kids, so we're probably less. Now we're going to Spain in the fall, but we've always taken our kids to places like China and Vietnam and India, and kind of places one might not necessarily jump to take their kids, but we found it to be really incredible experiences for them, and I think it's shaped who they are. I think it's really great for kids to see how other kids live. Whether it's in a little village with mud huts or in a fancy house. Like, I don't think it's just, kids are kids. And they're going to relate in some way, shape, or form. But it's just, I think, fascinating to see that, we get so caught up in our own little lives and our own little bubbles that, to see what's going on in the world. Like, we always took our kids to a school. When we were in Beijing, we went to an elementary school, and they were in 3rd and 5th grade, and really got to play with the kids in the playground. And, after their recess, the kids all go in the classroom and they do these head exercises. And it's really incredible to watch this. There's some big tape that they play through all the classrooms, and they're all there like massaging their temples and doing these, just to how they calm down and get back into focus. So little things like that are so interesting.
What kinds of things do you read to keep up on your passions?
Well, I read a lot of parenting articles. I like to get a lot of viewpoints from other people. I like to read about the hardships that people go through also. Sometimes they're just sort of frustrating essays, and other times they're interesting ways of approaching a problem. And so, I read the HuffPost Parents, and I read Washington Post Parents, and gosh, I get so many different articles every day. And I also am really interested in politics and what's going on in our country now, so I'm really trying to keep up on the news and articles from the Times and the Wall Street Journal and the New Yorker and the Atlantic, and
yeah, there's so much good
there's
stuff
so
to
little
read.
time to read. I'm not a very fast reader either.
How do you use technology in your business?
Well, right now I'm using it with Instagram and Facebook, a little Twitter. I just started to do Facebook Live. I think that's going to be a really successful area for me because I like to have the interaction from my listeners and my audience. I want them to ask me questions. I want to be there to answer the very specific questions. I feel like people learn so much, even though from hearing about other people's problems and issues, and they may not be exactly the same, but the skills that we learn are can be implemented for any problem. It's, every time I talk to parents, always tone and manner. I feel we can say things with a judgmental voice. We can say things with a calm, loving voice. The calm, loving voice is heard, and the judgmental one isn't.
Right.
And so I feel like hearing me is really important. That's why I really want to go in that direction, and I want the feedback and the input.
And when can people see you on Facebook?
Well, I just started, so I have to figure out exactly what time I'm going to be doing it, but I am the parenting mentor on Facebook and Instagram, and at parent mentoring on Instagram, on Twitter.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan.
Oh, thank you. It was fun.